Hi, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about some things that are going to be happening in the transits early next week. There's a lot going on in the sky next week, so we're actually going to break the week up into two parts. Today we're going to talk about the earlier part of the week, and then on Sunday, Monday, we're going to bring the later part of the week. So make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you can be updated on when the new videos come out, and then you'll know so you can follow along week to week. A lot of the things I talk about are more on a mundane level, but I try and bring it to you and see how it can work in your own life. So these are just kind of transits that are happening in the sky. So we're going to start off first with the Mercury retrograde. So Mercury has been in retrograde for a little while now, and on Sunday it's actually going to be stationing and going direct. So when you think about the retrograde, so we had talked in a previous video about retrogrades and the shadow period, post-shadow period, and pre-shadow period. So the pre-shadow period pretty much started on about April 6th. And then it went retrograde on April 21st, then it stationed, that's when it stationed retrograde, then it's moved back to the same spot that it was in on April 6th, hence the post and pre, shadow period. And then now, so it's at the early degrees of Taurus, and now it's going to move back through where it just went retrograde. So now that's called the post-shadow period. So you want to think about, first of all, what was going on between about April 6th to about April 21st when, Mercury was moving steady. Did you have any ideas? Were you working on anything? Were you thinking about starting something new? This is Taurus, so a lot of, grounding, maybe outdoorsy things, maybe beautifying something, Venus-y. It's an earth sign, so, now's the time of year where we're getting outside, maybe starting gardens, maybe, doing those outdoorsy types things, maybe coming up with some new ideas, starting a new project, depending on where this falls in your chart, wherever Taurus is in your chart. If you know your rising sign, you pretty much just want to, count ahead through all the signs to see if your rising sign is X, wherever Taurus is from that, that's what house it's going to be in. We've gone through this again in a lot of past videos. I'm not going to go through every sign today, or every house today, because we just have a lot to get into. And so the original period is what you were working on or what you were doing. All of a sudden Mercury, and that's the pre-shadow period, when Mercury stations, it goes back, so it kind of gets you to reflect, rethink. Mercury's about thoughts, processing information, so maybe any new information that has come to you, you're reprocessing that, rethinking, reimagining, kind of restructuring. This is all in Taurus. Taurus is about grounding and getting your feet in the dirt and getting things going, kind of a slow and steady, we're going to trudge through and get this going. So what are those things that then you were kind of reflecting on? So, okay, I had this idea, now I kind of rethought this, and now you're going to put those rethoughts into action. Now is the time that you're going to start taking action, full speed ahead. Well, maybe in Taurus it's not full speed ahead, it's a little bit slow speed, but you're still moving ahead with those ideas, plans, actions, all those things that you were planning, replanning, restructuring. So also a kind of a fun thing to think about is you always hear about these, those horrors of Mercury retrograde. So what happened to you during the Mercury retrograde? Anything interesting, anything strange, any electronics go crazy? So for me, I've had the same cell phone for years. I dropped it twice within this, and it cracked. So that's kind of an electronic thing. We had that Mercury retrograde plus the full moon Friday, plus it was an eclipse. A neighbor of mine actually came up. He's an older gentleman. He backed into our barn, pushed the wall in, and then he went home and he fell, and he's had a lot of issues. So we've been doing a lot to take care of him in the past. So it's kind of going back and, trying to get him help, and, remember that you have to do this. Remember you have to get, these people to come in and take care of you. So in my life, this retrograde has really had an impact. We've really had a lot go on within this amount of time, a lot of caring for our neighbor, but also I've woken up multiple mornings with our internet being completely out, that not working, TV saying that it had too much data and I had to delete things. It's like, this is my TV. How is this even possible? So a lot of that Mercury stuff, hopefully that'll be over on Sunday, at least a couple days after, when things start getting a move on. So that's, kind of a fun thing to think about. If you have any funny or horrible things that might have happened to you during the retrograde, feel free to put them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear what has happened. So then we have so that's going to be happening on the 14th. So then on the 15th, we have Mars that's currently in Cancer. It is in detriment in Cancer, so it's not super happy there. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's out of, it's in that place where I just don't, these aren't my friends here. Like, I just don't feel right. And that is in a trine, which is a good aspect to Neptune and Pisces. So because Mars is a debility, he might come off as a little passive aggressive. So you might, in general, people might be coming off with a passive aggressive kind of nature, like even an emotional manipulation, because when you think of Neptune, it's all mental. It's all kind of smoke and mirrors, and Mars is kind of like that aggression. But it's also, because it is a trine, it's a good kind of feeling. We have Cancer, and then we have Neptune. Stop. My Bean is making his appearance. Say hi, Bean. So we currently have Neptune that is in Pisces. So Neptune's in a place where it feels very comfortable. It's the modern ruler of Pisces. So if you're going with modern rulerships, bye babes, it's in a comfortable place. So this really makes me think of a lot of sexually charged feelings going through a lot of people, desires, passionate, like almost not like a wham bam thank you ma'am type of thing, but more of like a lot of passion, a lot of romance, a lot of slow, maybe some nice music and things like that. Mars is about sexuality and connecting on that level, where Neptune is that kind of emotional, mental level. So it's a really nice blend. So on Monday, you could be feeling those little feels, and hey, go with it. So then we have on May 16th, we have Jupiter entering into Taurus. Now this is a big one. This is the biggest one that I wanted to really talk about today. So Jupiter is in a sign for a year. So Jupiter hasn't been in Taurus for over 12 years. So I thought, instead of kind of talking about what the transit might mean for you, when you have a planet transiting that's a slow moving planet, like Jupiter, like Saturn, even like the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, even though they'll never come full circle really, well, you'll have Saturn come full circle, that's about every 30 years. All the planets, and then we have 84 years for Uranus. So, some people will see it, but you'll be 84 years old, so how much would you really notice of Uranus coming into its Uranus return? But you will feel the aspects of it, being in opposition, being in square, trine, and so on and so forth. But when you think about, I kind of went back a little bit on this to see what were the themes that happened when Jupiter was in Taurus back. And the reason that it resonates a lot with me is because I have my moon in Taurus. So if you have your sun, moon, or rising in Taurus, or you have a lot of planets in Taurus, personal planets especially, you will feel this a little bit more, and maybe it'll be a little more memorable. To some people, they might not even, 12 years ago, I have no idea what was going on. People sometimes don't think. So I was kind of thinking about it. I thought it was a cool little exercise to go back. It is about, when you think about it in general, it's about patience, stability, being stable, being, because it's unmovable. Like, you are stuck in the mud. You are not stuck in the mud, but more like steadfast. Like very Taurusy. It's about longevity. It's Jupiter expands, over a longer amount of time, and it's a slow moving planet. You also can attract good fortune. Taurus is rules money and that type, money and the things that you have. So you could have good fortune, things given to you, things, fall in your lap a little bit easier. Things go a little smoother in the finance area. You'll also, maybe put off a little more dependable kind of aura to other people. People will, you'll be more responsible, more grounded. So when I went back to this with these themes in mind, I look back to how this affected me in the past. So we go back about 12 years when Jupiter was last in Taurus. It was about June 11th, 2011 till June of 2012. Now for me, that, and it's also in my 5th house. So that's the house of dating, fun, playfulness, creativity. So it's, for me, it was a lot of aspects, and depending on where it falls in you, it's still going to be about foundational and, that kind of grounding, getting started, stability with the Jupiter expanding and bringing, kind of goodwill. So with me back in 2011, 2012, I actually got divorced. I started dating again. So there's my 5th house right there, about dating, having fun, and, all that kind of thing. And, so now I'm past all that. I'm settled back down. I have my husband. This time around, I'm hoping this is a little bit more stable, the kind of Jupiter in Taurus. We'll see what happens with this. We have a whole year, and I'm excited to see what happens. Now, the one before that was 1999 to 2000, still in June. So 1999 till 2000, what was happening in my life is I had children, and we were in a small little condo, and we actually went out and bought a house. So that was a huge move and a huge thing. And I was pretty young at the time, and it was very scary. But it was that, that stability and longevity. And I was in that house for 18 years, and you were building a foundation, getting good fortune, building up. When we bought a nice large house, we were, expanding our home, expanding our yard around us. We had a big giant yard, expanding the community, from being in our little condo complex to being in a whole neighborhood. So there was that expansion. So it really, really resonates when you think about really, take notes and keep journals of what's going on in your life when these different planets are going through some major houses in your life. So then going back even further, in about 1988 to 89, so that wasn't quite the best. It was actually a bad time in my life. I had lost my father, and it was very scary. I was only 15 years old. It was me and my sister and my mom, and we didn't have any other family close by. So it was pretty much, again, about stability. My mother knew she had to take care of us, and we knew that we also had to take care of ourselves. She couldn't do everything on her own. So we had to step up and be those Tauruses and take on the work and do the help around the house. And I had to go to work and, earn my own money so that I could buy the things that I wanted, because I am a Taurus and I love having nice things. So, getting out there and doing those things to help and be responsible and be reliable, that is very Taurusy also. So this one, and I'm looking forward to this year to see how this resonates, because everyone, of course the one before that would have been in about 1976. I was 4 years old then, so that one, I don't really know what was happening. I was playing in my backyard having a great time. Maybe I got a new big wheel or something. So again, it's those bigger planets that might, or not the bigger planets, the further out planets, any of the social planets or the outer planets from Jupiter on, that make the most impact but over a longer amount of time. So again, it's going to take about a year. So my moon is at it's about the mid degrees of Taurus. So I know that I'm going to, things are going to be kind of building, but it's going to be about 6 months until it really comes to a head for me. And then it's going to kind of wane off, and I'm going to hopefully reap the benefits of what this means for me. So, keep journals. Definitely start keeping journals. These big planets, changing signs, they're a big moment. Of course, just like Pluto did, you look back, you can't see how this affected you, because you're never going to have a Pluto return. It's never going to happen. Pluto is never going to be in the same sign in your lifetime, because people don't live to be 200 and something years old. So it moving into a different sign, that's generational. So you want to look at almost the generations of what's happening in the world, what the world is like while it's in this sign. With Pluto right now kind of doing its peak into Aquarius, is really, you're seeing that peak of, I think it's going to have a lot to do with AI. We're seeing the person that created AI coming out and saying, we got to back off on this and get control of it before we go any further with it. And when you hear something like that from some of the smartest people in the entire world, it's like, whoa, okay, this is kind of scary. It's coming up with things and that writing poems and, coming up with pictures instantly, doing all these things that people work so hard on, but it's instant, and they're actually pretty good too when you hear some of them. So it's kind of scary when you think about that. So again, Jupiter is going to be here about a year. So see what's in there. Definitely pull your chart up. Go to astro.com. Put all your birth information. You're going to need your birth time, place, and date. And then you can get your chart up. If that's too much work for you and you just want, email me at astrotastrology@gmail.com. Say, hey Jen, looking for my birth chart, and kind of explain to me, where everything is and what dates I should look back on. And I can definitely give you a hand with that. It'd be actually good to get to know some of y'all out there. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So then we move a little bit on and we go to the 18th. That is when the sun in Taurus, we got so much going on in Taurus. So we're going to have, so first of all, we still have the sun in Taurus. We're going to have the new moon in Taurus coming up on the 19th. So the moon's going to be moving into Taurus. We have Uranus in Taurus. We have Mercury, retrograde, back and forth going through Taurus. We have Jupiter moving into Taurus. And then we have the North Node in Taurus. So Taurus is packed full. So all you Taurians out there, you get ready, because things are really stimulated for you guys. I know my moon's in there, so I'm already feeling just all sorts of things going on. Working hard on trying to get this YouTube channel started and trying to get, hopefully connect with some of you out there. And that's why I'm hoping y'all subscribe. I'm hoping you hit the little bell for future videos, because this will only help us to grow. I hope that you even put in the comments things that you'd like to see, things that you don't like to see. Oh, enough with the cats. Stop bringing the cats into the videos, or bring more cats in videos, whatever. Just so we can build together. We can form a relationship, and I think it would be fun, and just subscribing would really help me out. And so we can grow. And this Taurus, it's going to be slow and steady, but I'm going to plug through and we're going to make it work. So as far as the sun in Taurus, and that is going to be in a sextile with Neptune in Pisces. So this is about self-expression, spirituality, charisma, kind of feeling at peace with yourself. It's like, I don't need to impress anybody. I am me, and hear me roar. I am, just letting go of the things that, bothered you in the past, maybe past grudges that you felt. It's like, oh, this person used to drive me crazy, but I'm just going to give him a second chance, because, hey, first impressions, yeah, sometimes they kind of stick with you a while, but, sometimes the more you get to know them, the more you find out that they could be really great people. So, and also, again, Neptune is about vision and visionary, thinking of new ideas. You're never going to expand, use this Jupiter to expand if you don't follow the visions you have. So you pay attention to those visions, because the new moon is coming at the end of the week, and that's about starting again. And that's in Taurus, Jupiter in Taurus. Let's go. We are going to expand. We're going to grow. We're going to really get things going and really, beautify things around you. Start a new project. Be creative. Be something, but just listen to your intuition. Listen to those images that just keep coming into your mind. Maybe you keep dreaming about a room that looks like something. What is this? What is this doing? Why am I dreaming this? Follow that vision. Don't ignore it, because it could end up being something. So again, please subscribe to my channel. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. Please leave comments below about your experience in the retrograde, and what different Jupiter and Taurus did with you years ago. If you have some memories that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it from you. So I hope you have a great weekend, and we will talk about the new moon next week and all that's happening later in the week. So have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye.